Zimbabwe, where sunlight only penetrates through the dense canopy of trees, covering the thick layer of rotten leaves. The humid air is heavy. The chirping of birds and the rustling of insects combine with the sound of the wind to create a lively and creepy song. But under that seemingly peaceful layer of rotten leaves, a terrifying killer is hiding. Zimbabwe jungle, the terrifying hunt of the Gaboon snake. The Zimbabwe jungle appears like a deep green maze, where sunlight only penetrates through the dense gaps of leaves, leaving streaks of light on the ground. The bustling sounds of birds chirping, gibbons howling, and insects chirping together create an endless song. But behind that seemingly peaceful picture are countless lurking dangers. Because in the darkness of the tree canopy and under the thick layer of rotten leaves, there are always silent killers, ready to turn the forest into an arena of death. From under the thick layer of rotting leaves, a gentle movement makes the forest floor vibrate. It is the Gaboon snake, the notorious killer of the African jungle. With a length that can reach 2 meters and a body weighing more than 8 kilos, it is one of the largest snakes on the continent. Its large, flat, triangular head, with intricate patterns of brown, yellow, black, and purple, blends perfectly with the dry leaves on the ground, making it a master of camouflage. In particular, the Gaboon possesses a pair of fangs up to 5 centimeters long, the longest in the snake world, strong enough to penetrate deep into the body of its prey and inject a fatal amount of venom. Its venom not only destroys tissue, but also causes blood clotting and attacks the circulatory system, causing the victim to quickly collapse. Unlike aggressive snakes that often chase their prey, the Gaboon chooses to lie still, ambushing for hours, even days. Just one careless step out of reach, it would spring up like a spring and strike a quick, terrifyingly accurate bite. In the thick layer of rotten leaves under the forest canopy, a small, timid forest mouse rummaged for seeds. The crackling sound echoed in the quiet space. It was completely unaware that just a few steps away, death was lying motionless under perfect camouflage. The air seemed to freeze, tense to the point of suffocation. Then, in a split second, Gaboon struck. The animals struggled weakly, but the venom spread so quickly that it only had time to tremble a few times before lying motionless on the carpet of leaves. Gaboon slowly approached, opened its giant mouth wide, and swallowed its prey in the absolute silence of the old forest. The hunt ended quickly, as if there had never been a tiny life in that layer of rotten leaves. In the wild, sometimes the most dangerous person is not the one who moves the fastest, but the one who hides the best. And Gaboon is the embodiment of that deadly silence. In another corner of the Zimbabwe jungle, the scene takes on a completely different tone. Where the bright sunlight shines straight through the gaps between the treetops, shining down on the small stream winding under the moss-covered rocks. The murmur of flowing water blends with the echoing sound of insects, creating a lively but tense rhythm. Right in that seemingly cool place, a giant is silently stirring, a predator that does not need venom, relying only on absolute strength to spread terror. From among the bushes along the stream bank, a giant shadow slowly slithers out. It is the African rock python, the silent giant of the jungle. Measuring over 6 meters in length and weighing over 90 kilos, its body is a massive mass of muscle covered in mottled brown, yellow, and black scales, helping it blend in perfectly with the jungle floor. Its flat head, cold amber eyes, and powerful jaw muscles make it a true hunting machine. Unlike venomous snakes, African rock pythons rely on muscle power. They silently ambush, then lunge forward and squeeze their prey with their huge muscle bands, suffocating the victim to death before being swallowed. Their prey ranges from small rodents, monkeys, birds, to antelopes, and even young crocodiles. Rock pythons can swallow prey almost as large as their bodies, thanks to their jaws that can expand to their maximum. After a large meal, they can survive for weeks, even months, without hunting. During the breeding season, which usually falls during the rainy season, female pythons lay 20 to 80 eggs in caves or rock crevices. What is special is that the mother will curl up around the nest to protect and keep warm, a rare behavior in giant snakes. Baby pythons are nearly 70 centimeters long when they hatch, but must become independent from a very early age to survive in the harsh world. Despite being a giant predator, the African rock python still has natural enemies. Large crocodiles, lions, leopards, and African wild dogs are always the top threats. The African rock python is a clear testament to muscular strength and patience in hunting, a silent giant but capable of spreading terror throughout the Zimbabwean jungle. Far from the dense forest canopy, the scene gradually opens up. The bright sunlight reflects on the vast surface of the Zambezi River and Lake Kariba, where each ripple looks like silver in the sun. Right at the junction of the forest and the river, another ruler is calling out loudly, a familiar, powerful sound, signaling the appearance of the symbol of the Zimbabwean sky. On a high tree branch by the lake, wingspans of more than 2 meters suddenly spread out, revealing the majestic silhouette of the African fish eagle, the symbol of the Zimbabwean sky. Its dark brown plumage stands out against the pure white chest. Its white head contrasts strongly under the sunlight, giving it an unmistakable majestic appearance. Its bright yellow eyes scan the sparkling water, and its sharp, hooked beak gleams with a deadly aura. The fish eagle has strong legs with long, curved claws, ideal for locking onto and lifting struggling fish under the water. It doesn't need to lurk for long. Just a few precise wing strokes and dives are enough to become a nightmare for creatures under the deep blue water. Its bright yellow eyes dive deep into the calm water, where even the smallest ripple cannot escape its sharp vision. The school of silver-glistening fish swims near the surface, completely unaware of the grim reaper watching from above. Every muscle on its majestic body tenses, waiting for the perfect moment. Then, in a split second, it spreads its wings and dives down. In a flash, it lifted its prey from the water, its wide wings flapping strongly, sending its massive body soaring into the air. Against the backdrop of the deep blue sky, the eagle raised its head high, holding its still flailing prey in its talons, asserting its absolute position as the ruler of the Zimbabwean sky. The last ripples dissipated, leaving a peaceful space stretching across the sparkling water. However, on a lakeside sandbank, a completely different scene appeared. Amidst the rising dust and heat, tall, lanky figures slowly approached, their red bald heads and giant beaks like blades. It was the appearance of the most fearsome opportunist in this land, the marabou stork, the carrion-eating ghost of Africa. On the dry lakeside sandbank, the marabou stork appeared with a strange and creepy appearance. Up to 1.5 meters tall, with a wingspan of nearly 3 meters, a skinny body, and long gray legs like wooden poles. Its bald head, mottled red skin, and the large leather bag hanging from its neck gave it a both scary and sickly appearance. The giant beak, long and straight like a blunt blade, is the perfect tool for digging up carrion or attacking small prey. Marabou are notorious scavengers, often gathering in large groups around animal carcasses, ready to compete with vultures. However, they do not refuse the opportunity to hunt fish, frogs, small reptiles, even baby birds or rodents can become meals. With sharp beaks and quick pecks, they easily finish off small creatures, supplementing their diverse diet. During the breeding season, they nest in large trees, in flocks of hundreds of individuals. The rough nest is made of branches, lined with some dry grass. Each brood, the female stork lays 2 to 3 eggs, which are incubated by both parents for about a month. The newly hatched chicks are weak and completely dependent on their parents until they have enough feathers to learn to fly. However, when they leave the treetops where their flocks are raising their young, the lives of marabou storks become more difficult than ever. In order to survive and continue to nurture the new generation, they are forced to rush into risky hunting on the hot lake shore. On the edge of the lake, a marabou stork stands silently, its long legs submerged in the shallow water. Its cold eyes are fixed on the water surface, waiting for the moment when the small fish is careless. In a flash, its giant beak swoops down, catching a struggling fish. Marabou raises its head high, the bait still wriggling in its beak. It seems like the meal is definitely its. But from the deep blue sky, a giant black shadow swoops down. The battle breaks out. In a flash, the fish was snatched away. The fish eagle soared high with a powerful cry, leaving the marabou stork standing silently by the water's edge. The opportunist now defeated by the absolute power of the sky. On the sandbank by the lake, the marabou stork quietly strode, its giant gray wings gently spreading under the hot sun. Despite having just lost to the ruler of the sky, it continued to look for new opportunities, because in this harsh world, life only belongs to those who know how to be patient and accept their role. In the middle of the Zimbabwe jungle, where light filters through the dense canopy and the water sparkles in the sun, the cycle of survival never stops. Here, the strong can become the weak in an instant, and every encounter can be exchanged for blood and death. Which do you think makes Gaboon more dangerous? Its record-long fangs or its perfect camouflage? leave a comment below the video. And don't forget to hit the bell. Subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series. The red sun gradually rose. The light spread over the Okavango Delta, where the rivers intertwined into an endless maze. In a place where, even in the sky, the water surface of the strong will strike a fatal blow, and the weak will be quickly wiped out. What creature will become a victim in the bloody whirlpool of the Okavango today? Bloody Okavango, the cruel hunt of the fish eagle. Dawn fell on the Okavango Delta. On the still water surface, small ripples spread, revealing a vague sign of a hidden movement. It was as if something was making this land more tense than ever. The land was breathtakingly beautiful, but also filled with invisible danger. Because here, every peaceful moment was just a veil for a brutal hunt. About to take place. In the middle of the bright sky, a giant shadow suddenly swept across the water. The sharp, golden eyes sweep along each ripple, watching the tiny movements hidden under the water. That is the ruler of the sky, the African fish eagle, a bird of prey that makes the entire Okavango wary. The African fish eagle, the ruler of the sky, possesses majesty and absolute power. With a muscular body up to nearly 80 centimeters long, weighing an average of 3 to 4 kilograms, it has a wingspan of more than 2 meters. Enough to block out the sunlight when gliding across the still water. The dark reddish-brown feathers hug the muscular wings, standing out between the pure white chest and the white head, making it look like a warrior wearing a powerful armor. The bright golden eyes, 6 to 8 times sharper than human vision, sweep along each ripple, not missing any movement. The sharp, curved golden beak, combined with the claws curved like iron hooks, became the perfect pair of weapons. When closed, the squeezing force from the claws was enough to penetrate and hold the prey, struggling underwater. The Okavango sky was calm. Only the rustling of reeds and the gently rippling water surface remained. From above, a giant shadow passed by. The fish eagle's bright yellow eyes locked onto a large fish swimming lazily near the surface of the water. In an instant, it dove down. In just one breath, the fish was lifted off the water, helpless before the squeezing force of the steel claws. The fish eagle flapped its wings strongly, pulling the spoils of war up into the air. In the fiery sky of the Okavango, the fish eagle once again asserted its absolute authority. From its powerful wings, its cold eyes, to its lightning-fast pounce, it is the embodiment of the cruelty and deadly beauty of wild nature. In another corner of the Okavango Delta, the dawn continues to spread, covering the endless stretches of reeds and gold. The sun gradually rises, reflecting on the calm water, creating shimmering streaks of light. In that seemingly quiet scene, a brilliant life suddenly appears. From afar, a giant pink-orange patch gradually appears, standing out against the deep blue of the swamp. Hundreds of slender wings flap gently, reflecting the sparkling light in the early morning sun. The slender footsteps part the shallow water, leaving ripples spreading like soft strokes of nature. In the shallow waters of the Okavango, flamingos appear like a bright pink streak on the deep blue background. Standing 1.2 to 1.5 meters tall, their long, slender, pale pink legs allow them to wade easily through the marshes, while their graceful, curved necks flow like a soft ribbon. Their brilliant pink-orange plumage, made from carotenoid pigments found in small shrimps and plankton, makes them one of Africa's most striking birds. Flamingos do not hunt as fiercely as eagles. Instead, they use their characteristic curved beaks as a biological comb, filtering shrimp, crustaceans, and algae from the muddy water. When thousands of them simultaneously bow their heads to feed, the water surface suddenly turns into a vivid pink carpet. Another interesting habit of theirs is that they often stand on one leg to rest, helping to keep their bodies warm and save energy. An image that is both strange and proud. During the rainy season, thousands of individuals gather in giant flocks to breed. Their nests are molded from mud into small cones protruding from the water surface, where the female lays a single egg. Both the male and female take turns incubating the eggs for nearly a month until the chicks hatch. It will take several years for those small, pale gray birds to gradually change their feathers to a proud pink color. But that beauty is always fragile before the cycle of life and death. Eggs and chicks easily become delicious prey for otters, hyenas, or vultures, while adult birds face the lurking dangers of crocodiles and eagles. In the midst of the bloody vortex of life and death, flamingos appear as a fragile but proud highlight, proving that even in the most brutal places, nature still knows how to put on a brilliant coat of life. Each winding bend of the river opens up a different landscape. The shallow swamp recedes behind, giving way to a wider riverbed, deeper and darker water. The water surface suddenly ripples, then cracks open as a giant body emerges. That is the appearance of the hippopotamus, the giant of African rivers, one of the largest mammals in the world. Their bodies can be more than 3 meters long, about 1 meter high, and weigh from 1.2 to 1.5 tons. The thick, dark gray, glossy skin secretes a pale pink mucus that acts as a natural sunscreen, protecting them from the harsh sunlight. The hippo's head is large. Its huge snout can open up to 150 degrees, revealing fangs up to half a meter long. Although its main food is grass, its teeth and terrible bite force are enough to crush the bones of its enemies. Its bulging eyes, ears, and nose are located high on its head, allowing it to observe and breathe easily while submerged in the water. The hippo's survival instinct is a mixture of passivity when resting in the water and explosive aggression when challenged. They are not predators, but are considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. They are ready to chase and attack anyone who invades their territory. Bites or gores from a body of more than a ton can turn opponents into victims in the blink of an eye. In the world of hippos, each stretch of river is a fragile throne, where only one adult male has control of the herd. The appearance of a challenger means a declaration of war. And then, as the sun's rays poured down on the water, the heavy silence was about to explode into a ruthless battle to the death. The surface of the river suddenly became unusually still. Two giant bodies emerged, only a few meters apart. Their bulging eyes locked, their breaths puffing out white smoke, as if the whole river was holding its breath. Then suddenly, the fight broke out. After a few tense breaths, the weaker one turned around, retreating in humiliating defeat, leaving the water turbulent behind. The other raised its head high, blowing out a powerful breath as if declaring its sovereignty. The river now belongs to him, the strongest, the one who can hold the throne in the cruel cycle of survival of the Okavango. The bloody battle is over, but that is only the beginning of the harsh survival instinct. For hippos, victory means not only holding territory, but also control of the female herd, the key to maintaining the species. During the breeding season, the dominant male will exclusively mate with the females in his territory. Each female, after nearly 8 months of pregnancy, will give birth in the water, where the baby immediately learns to swim and dive after its mother. When they are first born, the tiny hippos often take refuge under their mother's shade, suckle from the water, and depend entirely on her protection. The entire hippo herd, therefore, revolves around the dominance of a dominant male. Any challenger is a danger to the females and their calves, and is also the reason for the constant fierce battles. Although hippos only eat grass, they are one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. They protect their territory with blood and mud, nurture their females and calves in the deep water, and inadvertently become the silent architects of the delta, when the paths they create help the water spread to nourish all species. The sun was gradually setting towards noon, the harsh light shining down on the Okavango River. Heavy ripples drifted towards the deep pools, where darkness gradually took over under the murky water. The normally calm surface of the water suddenly rippled. From the murky mud, a dark figure gradually emerged, as long as a drifting rotten log. Only the cold yellow eyes and rugged back protruded from the water, motionless to the point of being indistinguishable from the surrounding scenery. It was the Nile crocodile, a killing machine weighing nearly half a ton, more than 4 meters long, covered in thick, dark skin covered with rough scales like armor. Its giant jaws with hundreds of jagged teeth, when closed, could crush a buffalo bone in an instant. But its most dangerous weapon was not only its strength, but also its cold patience. The river's surface was silent. Just below the water, that giant black shadow crawled slowly, blending into the flow. Only the cold yellow eyes and nostrils protruded from the water, motionless as two floating stones. The crocodile lay still for hours, even days, waiting for the moment when its prey was off guard. Small ripples spread from its rugged back and then disappeared immediately, erasing all traces. On the shore, the herd of thirsty antelopes approached the river's edge. They walked cautiously, their ears constantly twitching at the invisible sounds. The harsh midday sun cracked the ground, and the cool water was the only source of life. The tension seemed to fill the air. Suddenly, the crocodile rushed forward. The unfortunate antelope struggled desperately, but in just a short breath, it was dragged down into the deep water, under the river. Silence quickly returned, only the blood trail slowly dissolving into the flow. After millions of years of evolution, the Nile crocodile still retains its brutal nature, the ruler under the water, spreading terror to any creature that dares to approach the river's edge. It is the embodiment of silent, cold, but inescapable darkness. In the Okavango Delta, every pounce, every battle depicts a fierce cycle of life and death. Here, there is no room for weakness. Only the strong have the right to exist. And even peace is just a veil for the lurking death battles. In your opinion, which bird can compare to the fish eagle in terms of strength and brutality? Leave a comment below the video. And don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next wildlife survival series.